What is up, everybody? We are live this Sunday, June 25th, 2023, here at the Sports Bar. Give it up for yourselves. I need to get my soundboard up to date. I am one half of your lovely host, the man with this pretty face right here, King. And right over here, nope, right over there is my man, Coach. Coach, let the people know something. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No. Can y'all hear me?
What are you? Oh
Okay.
no. I'm not down. I'm just trying to get all this stuff up. And wait a second.
Uh-oh.
Now we started it off a little bit wrong. We started it off wrong. What the hell? Wait a minute. Wait. Hey, King. What do you hear? What do you say?
There we go. For a second, I thought I was talking all King kind of crap for 30 seconds and nobody heard it. Hey,
Oh, heck no. Everything is going good, buddy. Let's crack one open to everybody out there in the listening audience.
yeah.
Good day, everybody. Oh, yeah. How was your week, King?
Hey, it was good. It was fantastic. We had a pretty good week over here, had a really good weekend this weekend. So, you know what? All is good over here. Coach, how about yourself, brother?
Brother, I just got done with a week of surfing and over at Carolina Beach, and I did a whole bunch of stuff over there. I cannot complain whatsoever about this. I finally, well, now let me start that because I just shared our page off of our sports bar page.
Nice.
So the post is now up. Good. That's what it was causing me that time. Did a lot of surfing, hung out with a lot of friends of mine, did a lot of good stuff over there, smoked some damn good brisket. I'll tell you, you've never had brisket as good as until you have it as mine. And my New York country ass had the best brisket out of anybody out of there. And we did some good community service project. Took care of some handicap accessible mats so that handicap people and wheelchair people can get onto the beach
Nice.
over at Carolina Beach, North Carolina. And looking forward to going back there a couple more times this summer. Next time I go down there, I'm going to be volunteering with a great organization called Ocean Cure. I'd really like to get those guys on board with us because they do some great stuff, for the veteran community. And going to be going down there for their annual service event called Life Rolls On, where we will be taking out some paralyzed and mobility limited people from all across North Carolina and South Carolina, up and down the East Coast, taking them out for a day of surfing, getting them on the surfboard, and having them ride the waves over in Carolina Beach for a great day.
Dude, that's awesome, man. That is
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
Salute to you. Shout out to you. I think that the beach is one of those places that I like to just, if I could just duck off, I wish I lived closer to a beach because if I could just duck off after I get off work, sometimes I think I just go to the beach just to chill and relax. There's a few within reasonable driving distance, but I wish I had one like in my backyard. That would be the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the closest to me is about an hour and 30 minutes away. I mean, yeah, it's a decent drive, but I still wouldn't want to do that every day. You've got Ocean City close to you. I mean, I'm not going to say anything bad about the shores of the National Seashore where the that big roller coaster or that big Ferris wheel is at. That's definitely not a beach down there near DC. But you got a couple of them, somewhat decently close to you. But your weather's got to get a little bit better like ours does down there because I know it doesn't get as hot and you get a little bit windy up there. It's just about the right temperature right now for us being up on that. And oh wow, hey, guess what? We do have our kick chat coming in.
Hey, what is up? Hey, Kick Chat does pop up. CQ, you were wrong. I love to say those words. CQ is one of the hosts here at WTF Nation Radio, and he was telling me that the Kick Chats weren't coming through. So Friday Night Freedom, I don't know if that's Cause, I don't know if that's Pookie, whoever it is. Hey, what's up? I am glad to know that the Kick Chat pops up in the restream chat or the regular chat. So Thank you for giving me that. I tried to bring up the show on my phone and it's not working, but when I go on the web, I can definitely see it. So, hey, let's get the marketing stuff out the way and then we're going to get into the show. So, quick marketing. We here at WTF Nation Radio are streaming across multiple platforms. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and we're over on Kick now. This is the end of the first week or start of the second, if you call Sunday the start of the week, where we're going to be streaming our shows on Kick, but the individual shows, right? So the Sports Bar has its own Kick channel, kick.com/the sports bar. I'm going to put that right there in the chat. So if you're somebody that's interested in wanting to check out what we're doing over there at the sports bar over on Kick, you certainly can. I'll be putting content separate from our normal live streams over on there as well. And we don't do a good job of promoting it, but we also have our own Facebook page, www.facebook.com/ let me look this up now. What's our Facebook URL, Coach? I don't know it off the top of my head. Is that sad? I should know.
Man, you know what's sad is that I was about to say I think it's the Sports Bar
It
USA
is. It is.
is our webpage, but I wanted to double check and make sure. Yes, it is
It is.
the Sports Bar USA, and that's also at Sports Bar USA is our Twitter handle.
Yes. So go follow them jokers.
Yes.
We're going to be a lot more active over there. So be sure to tune in. So that's enough about us, right? But we're only one of 6 total shows as of today here at WTF Nation Radio. So I want to get all the marketing, boring stuff out the way. But I promise y'all, after we get this out, Coach and I, for the next 2 hours, maybe 2 and some change, depending on how long with it we get, we're going to hit you guys with some sports edutainment, because the slogan here at the Sports Bar is that in a sports bar, you don't just talk about sports, you talk about real life as well. And that's what we do over here. So, Coach, let the people know what other shows we have here at WTF Nation Radio /US Army WTF Moments. Kick us off.
Well, as we have our compadres here in the chat checking us out this time, I actually want to make a proud announcement. Ladies and gentlemen of the audience and everybody who's watching and returned watching from last week, I want to thank you all, because last week's video that we have, yes, let's go ahead and announce this. 16.2 thousand of you tuned into the Sports Bar last week to see what we were yapping about, talking about the world of sports. And thank you very much, because every single one of y'all that tuned in just gave us, the Sports Bar, one of the newest shows on WTF Nation Radio and U.S. Army WTF Moments, the highest viewership over the past calendar year. Yes, go back and double check it. Check the records. Check. Look at that. The King and the Coach were standing at number 1 on viewership this one. King, this is all you, brother. Great job on everything and getting this bad boy up and going. And let's keep and get that going on that, man. But that being said, while we thank you all, we are not the only show on U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio, because we come to you live 6 nights a week. Obviously, starting off your Sunday with us at the Sports Bar, but then moving on to the Monday edition with Ice and Shipwreck, where they're going to be talking to you about the entire world of the military, what's happening in the news that affects the veteran and the military community combined, and just dealing with the day-to-day BS that the mainstream media is lobbing at us, and we're just snacking it down like we are the daggone Colorado Rockies playing the A's. We'll get to that later. That comes to you Monday night at 8 o'clock. Now, moving into Tuesday, our boy CQ brings it to you live with Pop Culture Warrior. He's had Massey on the past couple of weeks. He's had Marie Mike on the past couple of weeks. He's got a bunch of rotating hosts coming in there. Heck, King, myself, we've even been on there a couple times. We've been on that show. He's got more of that, but let's be quite honest. The star of the show, the man, the myth, the legend, CQ, comes to you, brings to you everything about the world of pop culture. Hopefully, he'll be talking about Secret Invasion because he cannot stay off the MCU like anybody else that's out there. And quickly checking on his calendar with his great host. Oh, if you have not gotten a chance, go back into the archive on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and hope. I don't think Kick's got other stuff up yet. But take a look at that interview that King got with Lou Ferrigno over at AwesomeCon. Absolutely outstanding interview with him, and I'm looking it up right now, and I don't believe we've got a guest on for CQ for tomorrow, so
Nope.
or for CQ for this Wednesday.
Nope.
No guest. All right.
I think it's no guest, no show. He is going to be on vacation, so I'm not quite sure if he's going to be live this upcoming Tuesday.
Oh, that's right. You know what? I don't believe he is. It does say it that CQ is off until July 5th. So it looks like we're not going to be getting any shows here for the next 2 weeks. But regardless of that, on Tuesdays, our boy CQ, when he is not taking a well needed vacation, brings it to you live on Pop Culture Radio. Or on Pop Culture Warrior, only on WTF Nation Radio. Anyway, moving on, we get to our Wednesdays and our boy Radar and our girl TZ bring it to you live at 8 o'clock Eastern Time with the Smoke Pit. Just a straight up 2-hour bullshit session talking about whatever is on our minds, seeing what crazy shirt TZ has gotten herself this week, and seeing what kind of conundrum and mess that redneck North Dakotan or South Dakotan, one of those states that has more raped animals than they do humans. One of those Dakotas, our boy Radar. Anyway, he brings it to BS, and we have a great time every Wednesday on the Smoke Pit. Going into Thursday, we got Ice again hitting us up with Sergeant's Time. And Sergeant's Time deals with what is happening in the military and the veteran community and affects our day-to-day life. Don't worry about what is happening with all of the political nonsense. We're going to bring it to you as it is at the Joe level and at the veteran level, where we go ahead and we support each other and try to get the best for absolutely every single one of them. I wish Spanky would be coming back. Spanky, if you're out there and listening to this, please just let us know when you're coming back. We want to hype your return up to everybody, but we miss you on there too. Yeah, I know Ice has got it holding it down, but hey, what Ice does it best every Thursday on Sergeant's Time. And finally, this week on Friday, dun 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 dun, they're back. Cousin Pookie is back this week on Friday Night Freedom, where we wrap up all of the remaining news stories of the week, stuff that tickles our fancy, and talk to you, our audience. And then, like I said, we are live 6 nights a week, starting at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. No, excuse, yeah, we are in Eastern Daylight Time, and that is coming to you on U.S. Army WTF Moments on Facebook and on YouTube, WTF Nation Radio on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and now Kick.
Hey, Coach, I appreciate you, kick. I appreciate you doing that intro for us, man, as only you can, as only a New Yorker can, son. Word is born.
Oh, yes, completely.
Hey, so
brush you up, make you jump like Rod Strickland.
You said thanks to me, man. Our show last week on Father's Day was thanks to the viewers. So I want to give a hearty shout out to all of the viewers, to the people that pop in, to the folks that hit like buttons. If you hadn't hit the like button yet on whatever platform that you're watching on, hit the like button. The people that do that and the people that share our streams are what makes me happy to come here every Sunday and just talk sports. All right. I think next week we're going to have a call-in show. Next week, I'm going to be traveling next week, right? But I'm going to get back in town just to make sure that I can get the sports bar off. And we're going to have a call-in show. It is the last weekend of the month. So I am actually, no, Sunday is going to be the first day of the next month. But I'm looking at having it in a call-in show because I would love to hear people's opinions about things. The last time that we had one, we had a great person call in and give their opinion about John Morant. but nobody could hear the.
But the only person that heard that opinion was you. So we'll take your word on it.
Yeah,
we'll
we
take
had.
we'll take the word that David Cunningham had the greatest take on the face of the earth. We just couldn't give him credit for it.
Yeah, DC and DC has a good radio voice too. I don't know if he's ever heard that in his life. I don't know if he's ever done cons because I know he was in the military, but he's got a good speaking voice, and the people need to hear that. All right, it's very, very soothing. Okay,
All right,
very
that's
soothing.
good.
All right, so all the marketing stuff's out the way, but I want to acknowledge the people that have came in and commented that have taken the time to write stuff. Okay, and we're gonna start with Michelle Early said, "Good evening, hey boo." That's my boo thing, y'all. Good evening, Michelle. I'm glad you
Hello.
had the time to pop on.
Evening, Michelle. Hope you're great. I hope your week was great.
We got Richard Bronco over on Facebook said, "What up, y'all? What up? Hey, thanks for sending
Rich.
me that link. I definitely checked it out. And anytime that you're on, because I don't know if you're a regular part of that show, keep sending me stuff. Let me know. I'll definitely check it out. And of course, whoever that was over on Kick, appreciate you for popping in, saying hello, Sports Bar, to let us know that the chat's over there working. We got my
Well, that
man.
was Kaz. That was Kaz. Kaz has got that whole thing set up already.
That was cut. All right,
Yeah.
nice. So we got my man Greek Pete said how much I like or love to talk is gonna be how long we're on the stream tonight. So salute to you. We
Good.
got
We're going
David
5 hours tonight.
Hey, get enough liquid courage in me. We might have a streamathon one night. I don't
Oh,
know. I don't know. Because
let's
I
do
work
it,
on
baby.
Mondays. I work on it. If I ever have a Monday off, I'm just gonna say screw it. I'm gonna see how long I can stream and make it entertaining. Even if you got one viewer that's watching, to me, that's a success. We got David Freeman in the building. Said, "Aloha." Are you checking in from Hawaii, David? Is that offset? Can you tell me that? I know somebody that just told me that they're going to Hawaii. I also know what the state flower of Hawaii is because of it.
Hawaii's a damn state in the United States. There's no upset concerns telling somebody's going to Hawaii.
You know how active duty people can be, though, man. Like active duty people can sometimes you're I ain't gonna say brainwashed, but man,
No, it's true. It's
yeah,
true.
like
That's true.
there's so many people that who are my peers in now. So if I was still in, my 20th year would have been this past September. I enlisted
All right.
September 2002. I still have peers who are in or getting close to, getting out or whatnot. And I've been trying to suggest things that they could do with being a content creator. It's something you could do as a hobby on the side, right? And leverage their military uniform a bit to, create a brand or get themselves an image, and they're like, with the words and the regs. I'm like, no, the regs actually haven't caught up with some of this online stuff. Most recently, it kind of has, but then they realize after they get out, because I've had somebody do this, like, oh, dude, I don't know what stopped me. I'm like, fear. Fear's what stopped you, because you were
Hey,
still in and you were still, puppeteered a little bit or whatnot. And I get it. I do. I remember what it was like. But if you have somebody on the outside suggesting something to you, maybe listen. I understand that you don't want to lose your job or rank or anything like that, but I wouldn't tell you something that would cost you your career.
hey, and this is coming. Take his word, but of course, this is also the same person who's got a show of a guy who's not going to show his face for fear that people at work are going to know who he is. Don't follow my example. Go follow Kings.
Hey, good point though. Good point. Heath just said he was at a fishing tournament this weekend. Yo, Heath, I just learned that some of them tournaments can net money, and I mean significant money. I saw one fishing tournament because there was questions about the authenticity of
You
if
heard
this
it.
one fish could count. It was a record or something.
You heard about that too with the blue marlin.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And they disqualified it because I guess there was some shark teeth or something. It was considered mutilated. So,
Exactly.
yep. So that disqualified that one from being the winning fish. And like it went that the little pike marks or whatever cost that team millions of dollars
Yes, it
or
did.
several
It
hundred
did.
thousand.
It
Yes.
did. I honestly thought that was a joke that somebody was getting on a sports radio show about that when I heard it. And then I'll be damned, it was an actual true story.
Yes, yes. I didn't know that there was that kind of money in fishing like that. I said, hold up, let me go get a boat and find a sponsor.
I
Start
know.
traveling and getting in some of these fishing tournaments. Try and catch me. I think the one that got disqualified, coach, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't say it was like a 96 pounder or something. It would have been a record for that event.
619 pounds.
Oh, I was way off. Way
Yes,
off. Okay.
619 pounds this fish apparently was.
Yep. And I said, man, that sucks. They got the photos of the fish. They know that they caught it, right? But according to these rules, it was considered mutilated, so it didn't count. Crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
freaking nuts.
Hey, Heath, if you ever enter one of those tournaments and you need somebody to help with some sponsorship stuff and you're willing to split some prize money, let your boy know. I will show up. All right, I will show up. So let's see who else we got, and then we'll get into the show here. David said, King, they scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Andy says he's gonna try and call in All-Star weekend. Wait, is that All-Star weekend next weekend?
No, that is July 10th, I believe, is the All-Star game. So yeah, might actually no, it's not next weekend. July 4th is a Tuesday next week, so it'll be the following weekend after that. So the Monday, July 11th, or Monday, July 10th, I believe, is the All-Star game.
Okay. All right, cool. We'll have to try and see about making the call-in show for that. David Cunningham said, was that fish full of rocks? It was full of something. That's heavy. I don't know. I went deep sea fishing in Okinawa one time, and I pulled up what was, I think it was 80 pounds, like 83 pounds, whatever it was. And the work that had to be put in to bring that sucker in, we had to take rotating shifts. I was on when it occurred. I did the first dig. I dig, pull. And when I say, and I was in shape at the time, but when I say that was work, brother, that was work. So we rotated, took about 20 or so odd minutes to bring it in, but it was so much worth the wait. And it was also the first time that I tried sashimi right there, like that from fish we just caught. They brought it up, cut it, put it in cubes, threw it in this bag full of this like different seasoning or whatnot, and was like, here. And I'm like, I ain't eating that. I've never had fish like that before. Like all my fish have been cooked. But
John.
But I tried it and I was like, yo, this is totally different, you know. And I didn't want to be the only one. I think I was the only person of color that was on that trip too. And I didn't want to be the only one not eating. Like I'm looking around like, all right, he ain't dead yet. Yeah. Looking over here, he didn't fall out. I guess I can do this.
Good. Hey, Tuesday, July 11th. So a week from July 4th is the MLB All-Star game.
Okay, all right. Sean said the illegal word. I try not to say that word, and I try not to think about it, Sean, because I will fly to California. The last time that I went to California, because they got 4 of them in Los Angeles, I think 4 or 3. But they definitely have a Coco's Curry House in Los Angeles over on the West Coast. And if I'm ever planning a trip back to the West Coast, I'm literally planning my itinerary around stopping in Coco's. It is this Japanese curry that is, oh my goodness. The reason why it's illegal is because every time I think about it, I start salivating. So that's why I try not to say the word or not even think about it. But now that Sean's done brought it up, if y'all have never had Coco's, they got some in Hawaii too. Oh my goodness. It's like a gravy-based curry. But man, the way that it's seasoned, the different ways you could get it. Hey, Sean, tell me your spice level, brother. I need to know. I need to know what your spice level is. I tried 10 once, and while it was good, I paid for it later on, if you know what I'm saying. But to me, spice level 6, perfect. And I got some people in Okinawa that if I asked, they would ship me the boxes or whatnot. But yeah, man, the last time I went to Los Angeles a couple of years ago, I took my daughter. We ended up going to Disney. Stayed with my ex-wife's sister. So my ex-sister-in-law, is that how that worked, Coach? Ex-sister-in-law?
Yeah, former sister-in-law, something.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Which she's in the service herself. She is AGR. So shout out to the Army people that work AGR out there. And thanks to my sister-in-law or ex-sister-in-law for allowing me to stay with her and opening up our house. So we were able to experience Los Angeles without having to worry about the expense of a hotel or anything. We're able to do, was it Disneyland over there? And ate
Yeah,
cocoa like every
Disneyland.
day. Yep. He said he does 4 for the taste and 6 for a sweat. Yep. Yep. Hey, four or 5 is that sweet spot. 6 is where if you feeling froggy that day. But man, Coco's, triple meat. Yeah, hey man, see, she sure knows how to do it. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get off Coco's. But if you've never been to Coco Curry House Ichibanyo, or however you say it, just go. It's an experience. Oh man. All right. David said catching the big tuna in Japan will make you rich. Hey, I need to go have like a mission impossible. Go get me a big ass tuna, fly it overseas, right? Drop it off, and then catch it, and then be like, hey, I caught this tuna, pay me money. Coach, I be trying to scheme, man. I need to hurry up and like get rich quick.
I mean, you can do whales too.
Mm,
Whale hunting is like a religion over there in Japan.
no kidding.
Oh, no kidding, no kidding.
Oh man, okay. See, David Cunningham said Genghis
Hey,
Khan was my restaurant on the 1st and 15th. Hey, I know about Genghis Khan. Hey man, y'all bring it up to spots. I loved Okinawa. All right, we haven't gotten into any sports news yet, but that's okay because we talking about life over here too. Hey, let me tell y'all about Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan was awesome. All right, on the 1st and the 15th, I wouldn't say 1st and the 15th for me, but I was there once a month. Right, I loved Okinawa not for the base because in itself it sucked. I was there 2006 to 2009. When I got there, it was my second duty station. I didn't have any marks on my record, and I was a senior airman at the time. I had already deployed and gone different places, traveled all over the world already in my first 3 years because I was air crew. And I get there and they put me on a curfew. I'm like, huh? I didn't realize before I got there that there was a curfew or this thing of a curfew. So, I mean, as somebody that was a grown ass man, right? And this was my second duty station, and I had already traveled. I actually looked at my commander kind of funny, and he said, "You have something to say, Airman Smith?" I'm like, "Why get a curfew and this lieutenant?" And I'm like, "Lieutenant, I'm sorry, but you haven't done anything yet because of his rank doesn't get a curfew." And it was a commander's discretion thing. It didn't make sense to me. I felt some type of way about that, y'all. I really did. But I get why stuff like that happened, right? There were incidents that had occurred between military people and the local population that were unfortunate, very, very tragic events, right? Things that shouldn't happen. That look, if you do this kind of stuff, you should get thrown under the jail. But I'm just like, for me, I felt some type of way knowing that this was my second duty station and I was given a damn curfew. Besides that, Okinawa was my favorite duty station of all times. The food was fantastic, the culture treated me well, and I'm trying to get back because my daughter was born there and we PCS when she was 2, and I want to give her the opportunity to see it as well now that she's a little bit older.
damn man, that's some good shit, brother. I
Yes,
wish
sir.
I don't know. I never had a chance to worry about a place where outside of the curfew was there. If I was outside anything, I was bound to get shot at. So
Mm,
wish I
okay.
and the one place I could consider something like that was freaking Cuba. We weren't allowed to go into Cuba.
Yep. Let's see. Sean said facts. I lived on Cadena, but since I'm Army, I worked on Tory. Yep. All right. Shout out to you. King David Cunningham said, King, no Whisper Alley or Gate 2 Street. Oh, yeah. I spent some time on Gate 2 Street. I was married, but that doesn't mean I didn't get out. All right. I might have seen a banana show or 3 because it's a rite of passage when you get to when you get to Okinawa. And shout out to the people that know what I'm talking about when I say the banana show. All right.
Is that like the ping pong show in Mexico?
Very similar.
Oh
Very
God.
similar. Very, very similar. So yes, I don't know what you're talking about, but hey, look at me in my eyes, coach. Yes.
You
Except
want me to get
change ping pong to banana, and we're on the same boat. All right.
see? I don't think you guys had a flying eye hazard that was there when you went to go see it. The ping pong show might have had you might have had to wear goggles.
On the banana show, you might have had to wear goggles too. And that's only because you would get the Marines that would volunteer to go up on the stage to, possibly try to catch some bananas. But we're gonna stop right there. Hey,
Oh,
who speaks Spanish over here? We got Estela Carrera that said saludos desde Panama. What does desde mean? I thought I
I don't
knew
know.
Spanish, but I don't know what
I'm
desde
about to
means.
put that into Google Translate. Let's see.
From Panama. Hey, salute to you.
Yeah.
Salute to you.
Yes.
From um I thought it was similar to Donde, which I don't know if Donde is the same.
Greetings from
From
Panama.
greetings from Panama. Hey, saludos to you too. I hope I said that right. All right, let's get into the show. Let's get to the show.
Yes.
Sean
Yes.
got
Let's
me
get to
talking
the show.
about Coco's and Okinawa, and I'm thinking about all of the food that was there. Hey, Garlic House, Genghis Khan, Garlic House, Coco's, top 3 places of all time. All time. All right. Donde is where? Hey, Donde es el baño? That's like the only Spanish that I
Dónde está el baño?
Donde está baño?
Tengo el gato en los pantalones.
Let's see. King, did you get the Q point wall in the far east? Q point. I'm not familiar with Q point. I'm not familiar with Q point. So I don't think I made it. I made it there. I did some traveling. Like I mean, Okinawa's not that big. I also did some time on mainland as well, but Q Point is not familiar to me. But I'm gonna go look that up. All right. Via con huevos. Where's your balls? By the balls? I don't know. Yes. I did go and I spent a lot of time in the Philippines. Look, hey Michelle. All right, in about 10 years, let's move to the Philippines. Are you down for that?
Oh,
If you're still watching, let me know because I would love to go there. Like live. I love the Philippines. The Philippines treated your boy proper. The culture's fantastic. I would love to live in the Philippines.
nice. Nice.
All right, let's get to the show. First thing we have.
Yes. No, Sean
Let's
Gwynn,
go.
we're not going to Thailand. Nope. Sorry.
Hey,
I had my time there as a lady boy. I ain't gonna do it again.
I walk down Walking Street in Thailand, and I mean when I say like a 20-year-old in Thailand, you like what? But you know what? This this show here is about sports. Hey, let's get to
That
some
that
sports
that
trivia.
that 20-year-old is also packing the same heat you are.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see. Michelle said, I told you I'm down to go, especially after today. Let's go, baby. All right, see, she down.
All right.
She down. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Sean said I lived out my fantasies in Thailand. Hey,
Hey,
talk offline.
you do what you want to do. Don't
We
bring
can
what you do into the bedroom to the show.
we can talk. Hey, it didn't have to be the bedroom. You know what? Sports trivia, coach. And to the people out
Yes.
there, don't Google this. Do not Google this. To date, what has been the only sport that has been played on the moon? We are going and for 60 seconds. All right. Put y'all's comments on there. Coach put it to me in the private chat, and coach is correct. All right. To date, what has been the only sport played on the moon? And I don't have a countdown timer yet. So we're about to go 30 seconds. Actually, I'm gonna give people time to chat to put this in the chat. 40 seconds starting now. All right. There's a timer. Let's see if I get this to show. It ain't showing up the best, but that's all right. Oh, and I did that wrong. That's 39 minutes. See, this is why you don't let people from Alabama do things. All right. So when that 45 gets down to 15, we gonna stop. I don't have a displayed timer yet. I'm working on that. All right. Ice CQ. I don't want to hear it. But to date, what has been the only sport that has been played on the moon? Let's see. We've got several answers in the chat already. All right, we're going to take about 5 more seconds. And let's see. All right. Time is up. So, Coach, you were the first one to put it in. You were correct. So is
Yeah.
David Cunningham, Heath Barlow, and Sean DeGuin. It is golf. Michelle Early said basketball. Hey, do you know if you
That was
played
all.
basketball on the moon, how dope that would be? You'd have the longest slam dunk ever. But the answer is golf. All right. The answer is golf to date as of
Okay.
June 25th.
Hey, Michelle, I do got to tell you, Michelle actually does have the answer to another question we actually asked earlier, because what was the only sports game played in Planet Moron Mountain theme park, which, as we know, is in outer space?
Hey, you don't think that in like
It was basketball. It was basketball. It was played by Michael Jordan and the Toon Squad.
Toon Squad? Let's see.
Hey, so we asked what's been on the moon. The first sport that's been played on the moon. I want to ask the audience, what's the first sport that's been played on Uranus?
Oh, hey, Pookie over here speaking Swedish or something. Who is the toilette? Ich habe zu viele Bahnen gegessen.
It means it's German for "where is the restroom? I ate too many beans."
Oh, okay. What I say, Swedish? Hey, if you Swedish and you watch this show, my bad. Because as you know, Coach, we do have people from Sweden that watches this show. This show is worldwide.
Yes, we bring back this Swedish bikini team.
Sam, you said, what degree do I have? Air Force. Hey, go check my LinkedIn, man. I'm over on LinkedIn. I got an MBA. I got a bachelor's in business. Roll Tide. Even though I have an Alabama high school education, I got an MBA. Your boy's out here in these streets. I'm on LinkedIn too. All right. If y'all know somebody paying lots and lots of money, this is me reaching out. Now, I actually make real good money. I make real good money. I love what I do. I work for the VA. I don't mind sharing this stuff. I work for the VA. I support IT specialists. I'm an IT specialist myself, but I'm non-technical. All right. But I make real good money helping out the vets. All right. Salute to you, Samuel Downey. All right.
Coach is on LinkedIn. That's about the only thing that I actually Coach wants to be on. Fuck Facebook. Fuck everything else.
Look, if you are somebody in the workforce, sometimes social media, in my opinion, it's the devil you should know, right? I always say leverage the things that you have to work for you. I know that there's people that have stigmas about social media and things like that. I curate what my social media is about. I also like sharing things, information, things that'll make you laugh and stuff. Michelle knows when I wake up, I don't look at the news to see how depressing I can get. I find a comical or a funny video that puts a smile on my face. It's literally, I hit my alarm, I start to try to get up, I look for a funny video. I call it my morning funny because I choose to find something to start my day off that makes me laugh. I don't check my text messages because sometimes, hey, I don't know about y'all. I've gotten some text messages at night that people tried to send me, but I was asleep and I woke up and looked at it like, damn. So I choose to have the first thing that I see be something funny. And now my algorithms done picked up on that. So now, for the most part, I just get this quick little dopamine hit, start the day off with a smile, and then go on and see what doom and gloom is out there. So Pookie said,
man, I'm looking at your LinkedIn. I can't believe I've actually got more connections than you do on LinkedIn. I'm beating you on one social media outlet.
hey man, but now I need to give my LinkedIn some love. Actually, I should update it. I post there every Tuesday. I do my normal live stream. So for those of y'all that want to check me out outside of WTF Nation Radio, I do a vlog every Tuesday on my personal social media. So not the WTF Nation brand. And I'm talking about self-improvements and things. I'm just sharing my journey, my life. This upcoming Tuesday is inspired by US Navy veteran David Goggins. I've been consuming his content, and that mother effer is one of the hardest dudes I wish I've met. Pause. Let me say that differently. He's one of the coolest dudes that works hard that I need to meet. His story, his passion behind just doing things, the fact that he was dyslexic, right? He didn't have the best upbringing because of his parents, yet he didn't let that stop him. He was overweight from joining the military. So what did he do? He worked his ass off to get in. He wanted to be special forces. He had some issues with getting into special forces and getting qualified, but what did he do? He worked his ass off to achieve his goals anyway. I love that type of shit. I absolutely love it. I think too many people out there whine and complain about things that they wish they could do instead of putting in the work to F and do it. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the whining and complaining. Get out there and fucking do. And his story is fantastic. He's a U.S. Navy veteran. He was a Navy SEAL at one point, was in the Air Force as a TAC P and the Navy as well. And man, his story was so inspiring. So for the rest of the year on my Tuesday vlog, that's what I'm going to be talking about if I'm not doing something like a chats with dads. So yeah, hey Sean,
That's
I have
good
to
shit,
throw in
man. That's good shit.
I had to throw in that pause in there for sure because I definitely said that wrong. All right. Um, so that's our quick news. I'm sorry, not our sports trivia for today. So what I like to do with Coach, I'm gonna hit you with some quick headlines before we get into our main topics for today. So all I want you to do is give me one, maybe two sentences about what you think around these sports headlines.
Let's do it.
All right. So, Suns Alyssa Thomas sets WNBA record with fourth regular season triple double.
And the weather on Uranus is going to be a balmy negative 302 degrees. Now you have two bits of news that is absolutely useless to you, everybody listening.
Brittany Griner named on the WNBA All-Star starters team.
I'll take news that I did not want to hear again for 400, Trebek.
Oh, where's the third one? They changed the website up on me. All right. Let's see. That's all we have for sports quick news. They reordered the listing that I had. I knew I should have saved them. All right. That's an error on my part, but you know what? I get one time to have something happen to me before I live and learn. But I do want to.
We get to say WNBA news for the one time only on this show.
Hey man, the sports bar covers all sports news, right? We cover all, but like let's talk about this.
Look, that bass, that 961-pound blue marlin that they caught off the coast of North Carolina is more news than Brittany Griner and what's happening in the WNBA.
Hey,
It's guaranteed that's more newsworthy.
I'm trying to figure out. So Griner came back from over in Russia, right? She was in Russia. Yeah, Russia. Yep,
Yeah.
she was detained in Russia. She came back and it still made the All-Star. I think that's impressive, coach. You can't just come back and after being detained for all them months and then just go back into dominating like that.
What a comeback story from Russian prison to NBA WNBA stardom.
See, there we go. That's what I'm talking about, coach.
Yeah, that sounds like a Disney movie that's going to be on the same level as Velma on HBO Max.
Ooh, hey, have you? You know, I want to see Velma. I have not seen it yet. I heard it was.
Don't.
Yes.
Just don't. Don't. There's been some horrible new cartoons that have just come out on HBO Max. There's like some ridiculous crap, and it's spearheaded by Velma. Oh, Velma was the Julius Randle of the cartoons or anything on HBO Max. An absolute utter shit show. That's how bad it was.
David Cunningham said Brittany will probably get booed at the WNBA game. King, can you put some money down on a bet for me? I'm curious if there's odds on that. There's odds on everything.
There's got to be odds on that.
Sports book
I'll
you
put
go to.
It's negative 500 if she'll get booed. Are you kidding me? They've got to paper the house and make it look like a sellout. They're going to be giving it away free tickets to bums over in Washington, D.C. or wherever they're holding it. They'll be giving it out to the local homeless population. Hey, come on inside. Get out of the heat. We've got air conditioning. Homeless people wouldn't care about it. They'll come in for that, and they'll boo her just because they have no idea what she's doing, or the fact that you have some idiots that just don't like her whatsoever. They're in there for the air conditioning. They're not in there for the WNBA All-Star game.
Hey man, I want to go see. You know what? A WNBA game might be the only opportunity I'll get the chance to actually sit courtside.
Oh, what are you talking about, man? You got DC. DC's going to have a terrible team this year. There's going to be plenty of tickets that are going to be available towards the end of the season. You kidding me?
You got no faith in the Wizards?
They traded away Bradley Beal and then traded away Chris Paul. You know?
Hey, but Jordan Poole, I think I'd rather have a young Jordan Poole than Chris Paul, who is
and when you keep saying, yeah, I get that, but when you say a young team, you know what I think? 20 wins and looking for a lottery pick the next season.
Hey, we're going to talk about that because this year's draft came and went, and I'm looking at the names, and I don't keep up with college the same way that I do with the NBA, but this crop of drafts reminded me of as trash as the 2013 draft year or the 2003. It was one of them drafts. Unforgettable. 2013. That's what year it was.
2013 was a terrible year. 2003 was one of the best years of all time.
Yes. There are several Hall of Famers. On that one. But the 2013 year, I don't think that the first 15 picks were anybody that went past like 6 seasons.
Yeah, I gotta look at that. But I mean, yeah, this year's NBA draft, it was which stories we want to get into, because I know we got stuff saved. So
all right, let's get into our first story of the day. There's an esports week overseas, man, and I saw this, and the way that they talked about it here, I have to bring it up here. Okay, and I'm going to share my screen because I thought that this was interesting. I just want to know people's thoughts on esports, having it be like this competitive thing. Do you consider esports sports? I just want to know. But the International Olympic Committee, the IOC, has confirmed that the inaugural Olympic Esports Week will occur in Singapore over the last 3 days. The announcement represents a significant step in promoting the growth of virtual sports inside of the Olympic movement and expanding engagement with competitive players. Now, so it just occurred. Today's the last day of it, right? They're going to crown champions across various esports. But man, I got real curious about this because something that they want to do during this festival is to also promote it, have demonstration matches. I'm sorry, I said crown a champion. Have demonstration matches, talk about things as far as like, does doping matter in esports? Like, is taking illegal stuff going to help your trigger finger shoot people faster? So I'm just kind of curious, what do you think about esports being something that's a part of the Olympics, and if this actually catches on over the next couple of years?
Okay, so I've given my thoughts about how esports. I don't think is actually like it is a competitive sport. I said about the closest that you can come to it is any type of racing simulation that you have, whether it be in iRacing, doing Formula One, doing IndyCar, doing NASCAR on those, and going into the platform and doing the iRacing in an actual rig set up to simulate like you are in the car. That's about the closest that esports get to any type of actual sport. Last I saw, motor racing is not in the Olympics. So, with that fringe of a daggone calling it a sport versus the fringe of calling freaking motor racing an Olympic sport, with that far away of a degree of athleticism that is necessary, I still do not consider esports to be a competitive sport. I consider it a competitive game, much in the same way that blackjack and all of, like all these card games that show up in poker, being considered being put on sports channels and all this other crap. It's not a sport, it's game.
Hmm.
And game is not a sport. Much in the same way that freaking esports is not a sport, it is a game.
Okay, there you have it. And it looks like you've got people to agree with you. Sean in the chat over on Facebook said Coach has a point for show. And David
Yep.
said basketball and football esports is a sport. Ooh, and hey, everything goes back to money. And I'm going to highlight what Sean said here. But does it bring in money and an audience? It most certainly can, and I say will.
So do the Kardashians,
Ooh.
And the only thing that they've ever done in sports is screw up Lamar Odom and the good kid from Brooklyn, Humphreys.
The only thing that they've ever done in sports was have sports babies.
Exactly.
Okay. I think that I agree with Coach, actually. I don't have anything differing to bring up or to add. What Coach said is exactly my thoughts as well.
But Sean does say something about the bringing money in an audience. Professional wrestling does the same exact thing too.
You don't think wrestling's a
And
sport?
no, wrestling is not a sport.
Hmm.
It is it is a combative theatric.
Hmm.
That's what it is. I mean, it's a physical combative what's it called, fantasy. Yeah, I'm not gonna call it fake, because I can tell you that lifting up 300 pounds, if the Big Show is 6'10" and he's lifting you all the way up through your neck, by your neck, and then slamming you down from 7 feet, that physicality and the weight that he has to lift up, regardless of whether or not you think that the pain's as real as it is, those laws of physics don't change whether you're in the ring or not. There's that degree of physicality. Is it prepared for, and are they trained to take that degree of physicality? Yes, much in the same way that there's a degree of physicality in football that's different than what you have within professional wrestling. Now, that being said, there is no competition in there. You've got people that are backstage that do not perform in the ring, who are making decisions on outcomes of what's happening in there. All right, and think about this as far as when you think about everybody talks about criticizing whatever sport that they're in, whether it being football, and they feel like something is staged. What's the first thing they say? Oh, the NFL's becoming like pro wrestling. Fake. You see
Yeah.
that there's subsegments of that where it comes down to, there's performance, and then there's sport. And professional wrestling blurs the lines on it. That's what makes it what it is that it's one of the things that blurs the line to it. But it's not a sport. There's no competitive to it. There's no competition to it. The only competition is in Vince McMahon's mind, or Tony Khan's mind, or whoever the hell runs Ring of Honor now, and Impact Wrestling, and IWGP, and all these other places.
Hmm.
You know, it's all up to people who don't play that role inside the ring to outcome the matches. It's predetermined.
Yep. I'll tell you what though, it is a blast. I went to my first, what is it now? The WWE? Is that what it is?
Yeah, WWE.
Went to my
Yeah,
first WWE event courtesy of VetTix, which I tell y'all every time. VetTix don't sponsor us. It is just if you're eligible for VetTix, go sign up. You can find some phenomenal stuff on there. But I went to a WWE event courtesy of VetTix, and man, in person, it is definitely entertaining. But Coach said not a sport, but entertaining as hell. You
yep.
know what else is entertaining, Coach?
What's entertaining, buddy?
Midget wrestling. I went to a midget wrestling show in Altus, Oklahoma around 2009, 2010. Man, that was so much fun. If you get the opportunity to go catch one of the traveling circuits, I think is what they call it. Like there's one specific group
Promotion.
promotion. Yes, there's one specific group that does that where they
Like
travel around
micro
to
wrestling or
certain
something like
places.
that.
Yes, but it's like it is midget wrestling. Oh man, it is so good. You will only find them in podunk towns though, like Altus, Oklahoma, maybe someplace in Arkansas. Just think places like that, and that's where they go. But man, they put on a fantastic show. Midget wrestling. So much fun.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
All right, let's see. Before we get into the next topic, because I don't have anything to offer. I just thought that it was interesting that the IOC was considering esports and they're trying to promote this thing. But if they're putting the time and effort into promoting it, having these panels and discussion, who knows, around the year 2050, you're gonna see Call of Duty esports as part of the Olympics.
And you might as well go ahead and plug CQ's thing up there for 6 days in Fallujah if you guys want to get a free
Oh,
restream.
yeah.
Free restream code. Go to Pop Culture Warrior, and also on the WTF Nation radio page, we've shared it as well. Go on there, and we are giving away. CQ is giving away a free stream code to 6 days in Fallujah, a new computer game that's coming out. A great combat fighter, obviously based off of the battles in Fallujah that we had during OIF. A lot of this game has been, considered extremely realistic. So if you guys want to get one of those free stream codes, go to Pop Culture Warrior or WTF Nation Radio. Look for that post, share it on your Facebook page, comment, make sure you like Pop Culture Warrior and WTF Nation Radio while you're there, and you guys, go ahead and get a free copy of that game.
Hey, I'm glad that you had promoted that. Thank you. Shout out to Pop Culture Warrior over
Yeah.
there. I like giving him grief, but it's all in good fun.
Hey, and you know what? That's CQ. That's a completely unplanned ad for your show. Give me some money. Give me some of that.
Yes.
Give me some of that sweet Patreon money you got.
Yes.
We want to add money.
Pete said that I would fit right in on the midget wrestling. You know what? That's funny, Pete. That's funny. I ain't gonna fret. I saw that pop up and it made me laugh, man. It made me laugh.
God.
I'm I you know what? I'll just put it out here on Jump Street, y'all. I'm 67.5 inches. That equates to 5'7.5. But if you round up, I'm 5'8. All right, I'm out here, but I am like, athletic, or at least I still like to think I am, which is a whole different
like Damon Wayne said in The Great White Hope, I am in shape.
Round is the shape. All right, let's see. The next thing before we get to our next topic, Coach, I want to show you something. I think that this is cool.
Let's see it.
But also kind of cheesy at the same time. Let me see if I can bring up the right page here. Here we go. So I got this up, and then I got to make this bigger. That's what she said. And then I'm going to share the screen. Would you ever do something like this? Would you ever create custom jerseys with your significant other with the words "hitting it since Then one person's got one number, and the other one's got the other number. Hitting it since 1984. Cool or not
Man,
cool?
all right. If you all right, if you're having a midlife crisis, this is that late millennial freaking time period, hitting it since 1984. Man, no, no,
Yeah.
no. And look, I don't know what team it is that that person's on. I'm
Baltimore.
so glad.
Baltimore
All right,
Orioles.
I don't. Baltimore. All right, I'm just glad since 19 or 84 isn't retired. That's not a retired phone number. But I mean, no, man. If you're gonna wear a customized jersey, do something that's kind of cool, like show up in Cleveland with a Ricky Vaughn number 99 jersey, or show up with a 00 Yankee jersey that says Costanza on the back. If you want these personalized jerseys, do something cool like that was in a movie, or somebody's doing pop culture wise doing it, making it something like that so that you guys can. Not at your age, man. No, no, no. Late,
Hey.
late age millennial fuck.
So coach said he is not about that life. Michelle early said, nice. I like those. Remind me to share someone's Facebook page with you. I will do that. I will set a reminder to get you to share that Facebook page.
Oh dear God, you don't have like king and
Oh,
queen matching jerseys, do you?
no, no, no,
Oh,
we don't. However, coach, Michelle and I do a podcast, right? It's a
yeah.
podcast together where we're sharing our journey. We're a fairly new couple, right? We are a fairly new couple, and we're trying to get past the stigma of it's hard to find somebody out there. So we're sharing our journey as we get to know each other. Essentially, we haven't dated longer than a year, but we also want to show that it's possible, right?
I understand.
So I bring that up because we might be getting some branding stuff set up, right? So I could see I having a king and her having a me because her initials are ME, and it's branding. It's branding, coach. Yeah.
King me. Oh my God.
Hey, I'm King. Her initials are ME. King me, baby. King me. Yeah. Sean said, Coach, we need, hey, Coach be going to, hey, Sean, ask Coach his thoughts about Julius Randle. That'll get him riled
This
up.
guy, yeah, this guy looks like he's got a tattoo of Julius Randle right on his upper thigh. Schmuck with a hat.
He said that he has a signed Hatton jersey. Nice, bro. Nice.
I got no idea who the hell Hatton is.
Me neither.
But hey, great for you, man.
You know what? This is a perfect time. I have a signed jersey, but when I
All
tell
right.
you the story about how I got this signed jersey, man, it is the most. It's the saddest thing ever, and it makes you choose how you waste your opportunity. So when I got my first bonus money, I was 19, 20 years old, right? When you pick a job in the Air Force and it comes with a bonus, if they say you get a 20 grand bonus, you don't get all 20 grand up front, you get half of it up front. And then, like, let's say if you have it's a 20 grand bonus if you enlist for 6 years. Well, annually over the next 5 years, you get the remaining of that paid off. So if you got five more payments left, then you get five payments or 10 grand divided by five. Well, when I got my first bonus, I got 10 grand pre-tax anyway, because Fed and state come and take all that shit. I went and got me an authentic Pittsburgh jersey because Antoine Randall L was on the team at the time, and he was one of my favorite players. An authentic jersey at the market back in this was 2003 was like 280 bucks. When young enlisted people get bukus of cash, if they've never had bukus of cash, they spend it on dumb shit. About 90% of what I bought when I got my first bonus, I didn't have within the first year. except for I had a watch and a laptop at the time. Those are and this jersey, because I saw Antoine Randall and got the opportunity to get him to sign that jersey, and then I never wore it again. But that jersey ended up being trash because that fool was traded like 2 seasons later, and I felt some type of way about that. I'm like, man, I spent all this money on an authentic jersey, and not only is he not a Hall of Fame player, like it would have been cool if he would have, hey, this is Antoine Randall. He ended up going to the Hall of Fame. Shout out to Antoine Randall. I know he watches this show too. I'm not trying to bag on you, but bro, you could have stayed in Pittsburgh and been better. So that jersey could have been worth something.
Man, Antoine Randall was he was damn good, man.
Yes,
I liked him.
yes.
I liked him.
Explosive player, great in college. Had a few, maybe 2 good seasons in the pro, but I think too, football is a big person's game, and you can only get away with being explosive for so long before it catches up. Reggie Bush learned this. Look, if you could get your hands on Reggie Bush, the brother was going down. But was he explosive? Could he get you yards? Absolutely. But if somebody like JJ Watt or some of them big ass linebackers put hands on him, I mean, y'all saw what happened. And I'm a huge Reggie Bush fan. But in the pros where everybody big and fast, guys that size can only last so long, man. But and that was Antoine Randall, very explosive, but didn't really, I think he went longer than the average. People don't know this, but the average time span for somebody that plays in the NFL is 3 years. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, Randall came in. When he came in, he was drafted. He played quarterback over at Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And, they drafted him as the wide receiver in order to play. So he was, remember Pittsburgh had a pretty good track record with him, with doing that. They had Cordell Stewart there for a while, and he became something like that. And what's his name also played quarterback at Georgia. Oh, God. The wide receiver.
Hines Ward?
I'm talking. Hines Ward. Yeah. In fact, if I'm correct on this, Antoine Randall threw the touchdown pass to Hines Ward in that Super Bowl, didn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, man. You brought. Yep.
Holy crap! Yeah. I get it, but let's just be quite honest too, man. Anybody who signed with Washington, just their career went to shit the second that they signed with the Redskins.
Yep.
It was that team is freaking cursed, and thank God you're getting a new owner. Man, I swear to God, he is ruined.
Coach, we can't hear you. So since we can't hear Coach, I'm going to give him the opportunity to come back up. I think this happened the last time. I'm going to go to the next thing that I have, and shout out to viewer of the show. I haven't seen him in the comments in a while, but he's my guy. He's been sending me different stuff that I take and I post up, and I am going to show the next thing that he sent. So let me close this one out. And I can unpin this because I have already shared it. But shout out to my man Leon. Leon sends me some very, very interesting stuff, and I've pinned a lot of them because I thought it was good too. Let's see. We talked about that one. Oh, here we go. This one I thought was real interesting. So I'm going to set this one up here. This was an article posted on CBS News several years ago. Antonio Brown's arena team gets kicked out of the league after the star refuses to pay bills. So Antonio Brown is somebody that I'm not a fan of at all, right? I think the dude's really talented, but really damn stupid. All right, Coach is back up.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Oh yeah, but now thank God your team's got a new owner coming in.
Yes. Yes. So Antonio Brown's team getting kicked out of the league that he was in for this arena league after the star had refused to pay the bills. He wasn't on that team for 3 months and was at trouble everywhere he went. Apparently, he got onto the field one time, caused some ruckus. The disrespect that he said back to the team was like, basically, I own you and all this and that. And man, it was one of those things that the dude was just doing this job because while he was part owner, he wasn't like the full owner of this league. He was part owner. He just acted like his shit didn't stink. And now the people that had an opportunity to get some type of arena sports entertainment in the Albany area, now they don't have a team because somebody allowed this jackass to be owner of a team.
Man, this guy is more toxic to the NFL than OJ Simpson. Oh,
And man, like certain people, like, look, he has money as far as that goes, but do you want to deal with the headache of his decision making and just what follows him everywhere he goes? He has a track record of this stuff. I
this
don't
guy.
see how other owners would be like, yeah, you know what, Antonio Brown, he has a good name. Let's bring him on. He'll sell tickets. No, no, some people you just don't do business with.
That might work in the world of wrestling, but not in the world of professional sports.
Yep. Yep. So I just
Um,
wanted to just share that one real quick because to me, it's like I don't get how people don't understand this stuff, right? If you say King and Antonio Brown's going to offer you $25,000 to do, I'm just going to say nope, nope. Are we talking the Antonio Brown, like NFL wide receiver Antonio Brown? Nope, I'm good. Don't need the money. Don't need the money. All right.
I'd rather trust Dollar Tree toilet paper after a night of Mexican food.
Hey, have you ever gone down to Mexico and drunk the water?
No, I have not. I have stayed, unless Uncle Sam has sent me there. I have not gone to another country. In Mexico, they didn't send me there.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, man. I did by accident one time, just because I was like, "Ooh, I'm thirsty." Because that Mexico sun hits different, right? If you've been down to Mexico, that Mexico sun hit different, man. So I went, poured some water, drunk it, sick for 2 days. Don't do that. Moral of the story: don't drink tap water in Mexico. All right. Get you some bottled water or whatever, or boil them joints. You don't want to just drink tap water down in Mexico. That's why I shared that with y'all.
Oh man, that's disturbing.
All right, next story. And this is an old story, but I had it come across my feed and it cracked me up. Do you play chess, coach?
No, once in a while, but not really.
All right, but you know how to, like, the objective of chess.
Yes, yes. That the other team has no moves to protect their queen.
The king.
King,
It is the
excuse me.
king. Yep. It is the king. Hey, you
King.
know what? Hold on. We're gonna have to change these chess rules. I just thought about that. Y'all can't be out here trying to knock down the king. This king don't appreciate that. All right, but chess is one of those games that it is perceived that you must be smart to be able to play it. I don't play chess, so that tells you all that you need to know. I know how to play chess. Like what spaces that the rooks can move, what spaces that the pawn can move. I know how to play, but if I ever win, it's just pure luck or you messed up. Okay. But in some parts of the world, chess is real serious. So much so that a chess grandmaster back in 2002 had to get his butt inspected as he competed in the US Chess Championship because apparently he beat somebody he wasn't supposed to beat and everybody cried foul. So this is the part that has me kind of I thought that this was interesting, right? So if you go into a competition, the point is to win. Yet the headline, which is this was October 6th of last year, chess champ gets butt inspected amid vibrating sex toy cheating scandal. So what they were trying to claim is that there is no way he could have beat him on his own merit. And how could he have gotten away with it? By having anal beads stuck up his butt, and then it vibrates when he's about to make a wrong move or something like that. The conspiracy theories on that abound, yet the chess tournament organizers took it so serious that they put this infrared thing that you see at airports to inspect this dude because of the allegations. I thought that was wild. Wild. Would you have subjected yourself to that kind of check because somebody wanted to say you had anal beads stuck up your behind, coach?
First off, let's say this right now that I have never had anything past a doctor's finger go up my cornhole. Okay. Let's just say that right now. And trust me, even at that time, it definitely was not welcomed whatsoever. Now, I really have an issue with a couple things. And this I'm going to say something about with the LGBTQIA plus, population. I
Okay.
understand that y'all want to fight about whether or not a transitioning male to female swimmer can be considered an Olympian, but you have to go now to a game and you have to help support this gentleman because this gentleman might just have be a furry and have one of those butthole beads with the donkey's tail or something like that sticking out of it because he secretly identifies himself as a jackass. All right, that's the people that you should be worried about. He's getting harassed, not trans swimmer who's doing whatever the hell it is against women. All right, go support this guy instead. His rights are being violated. His rights are being violated by having somebody check his cornhole to make sure he wasn't cheating in a game, not a sport.
I wrote this thing down and it applies. I have to bring up my notes here because I thought that it was so relevant. I just don't remember which one of my because I have several phones where I saved it. But it talks about like talent, right? And just why sometimes people will let me see if this is it. Dang. Oh man, I can't find it to bring it up real quick and I don't want to hog up the stream for this, but it was this real interesting thing about talent. But even the owner of Twitter now, Elon Musk, came out and said talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one can see because it's in your butt. And just the fact that even Elon caught on to this story and took his time to write something about it. I don't know, it didn't sit right with me. It had to do with something about achievements. And this guy hit an achievement, and because he beat the perceived person, oh, he must be cheating. It baffles me, man. The way that some people just think. I like people, but sometimes some people
Yeah.
I wish could just go find a cliff. And I'm just gonna stop that statement there.
uh,
Hey, speak of the devil, and he appears. Well, actually, so we got Pop Culture Warrior in the building, and yo, we talked about you. We shared your contest on our show as well. Coach said he wants his money for promoting you. All right, but I appreciate
I
you.
want a taste of that sweet Patreon there, money CQ.
Michelle early said in chess, the queen being in control works for her. No, 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 no. All right. CQ said, checks in the mail, coach. Speaking of in the mail, hey, Charles, I don't know if you're watching today, but if you sent out that wooden piece, I have not gotten it yet. I have checked the mailbox every single day. I am anxiously awaiting so I can showcase it here on the show, but I have not gotten your wooden piece that you sent out for the sports bar, man. So double check. Let me know that you sent it. because I believe I understood that you mailed it out, but I am informing you that I have not received it. I'm gonna shoot you a message after this live stream in case you aren't watching, just to let you know. But I'm glad that CQ said checks in the mail because it made me think about that. All right, and let's see. I think that that's all that I had to share that Leon said that I thought was interesting. And then we got a couple of more stories, and then we are going to close out the show. Actually, no, I'm going to share this one too. Speaking of
All right.
DraftKings, all right, I know that there are other people. I play on FanDuel, I play on DraftKings. I follow their news and stuff as well. But Leon sent me this one, and I thought this was interesting. So the odds were, and everybody knew that the Spurs were going to select Victor Wembanyama as the first overall pick. But the odds for it were negative 20,000, right? So what that means is that I'm just gonna share it. I'm just gonna share it. This person put the bet down that he was going to be the first pick, but all it would have netted him based off of those odds was just $2,000. The fact that somebody had enough money to wager 400,000 just to only win $2,000 tells me that I need to be friends with that person. Hey, yo, assistant, zoom in on me. Find out whoever that better was. Let them know that the actual King Smith would like some upgrades to his equipment and things like that. If you got $400,000 to put on a bet just to only get back $2,000, that's it. You probably wipe your ass with that money, with the $2,000 that you're going to win. All right.
That's
If you
George
got that kind of
Soros
money,
money.
if you got that kind of money, invest in me. Invest in me, U.S. Air Force veteran King Smith. All right. I can definitely use that kind of money. I mean, just really think about that.
Hello,
400,000
hello,
to get
King.
$2,000.
King. This is former President Donald Trump. And I want to let you know that I'm the only person in America who's stupid enough to lose 400,000. But Victor Wembanyama is French, and I wanted to go with the guy who is from All American. He's from Alabama, named Brandon Miller. I always vote for America, even if it costs me $400,000, because I don't know my head from my ass. Here's Coach.
Hey, DT, I appreciate you. Hey, I told y'all we get celebrities that come and watch us over here at the sports bar, and we just had DT in the building. I don't even know where to go from there. That was a good impersonation, my man. Hey, that is a solid. How would y'all rate that out of 10? I think that was a solid 8.5. I think it was a solid 8.5. Like I imagine that as you did that, you were like doing this as well, putting, that finger thing that he does.
Oh, yes, completely. Completely. I wanted to throw in a couple huges as well.
Hey, David Cunningham said
DT showing up on the sports bar is going to get the viewership up huge.
huge. David
Huge.
Cunningham said the
Great
women that play
ratings. Ratings is
professional
everything.
tennis will kick most trans guys' butts. Yes. I mean, But let me take this down on the screen. Let me think about this. The women that play professional tennis will kick the average person. I mean, yes. Look, the ladies that play in the WNBA would kick the average trans guy's butt in basketball. But if we're talking the people that actually competitively play in those sports, if you take a trans person that plays in that sport that was a male transition to a female and they played that sport, I put my money on that person. I think the worst. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. Coach Mike,
Hey,
but I'm not gonna say
what
that.
are we worried about? Come on. We've already had a transgender NBA All-Star.
Who?
Grandmama.
Oh man, you went back with that one. The young people might not know who Grandmama is, but I do. Oh my goodness. Yes, we have. Yes, we have. Grandma,
Oh,
man, you brought it back with that one.
yeah, I did.
You know,
Man,
there hasn't been anybody to follow that up because I don't think you can market that now. Can you? At least not the way he did.
no, but yeah, I think like the closest you came was what's it? No, Shaq didn't do a girl in that. And what was that NBA barbershop movie that came out?
Uh,
You know which one I'm talking about? The one that had like a shit ton of NBA players. I think Braun was
no,
in it.
no,
Shaq
it's
was
not
in it.
ringing the bell.
There was some movie. But regardless of that, yeah, but I don't think there has been another one. You know, and let's be quite honest. If it wasn't for Grandmama, there would be no Medea.
Yeah, true that. True that. So the person that we're talking about, for people that don't know, is basketball player Larry
Larry
Johnson.
Johnson.
In the 90s, Larry Johnson was a absolute all-star. I want to say he was
Yeah,
all-star
yeah, he was a
all of
multi.
the years.
He was rookie of the year. I want to say 2 or 3 All Stars with the Houston with the Charlotte Hornets, the original
Drafted him.
incarnation,
Yep,
who
first
drafted
overall
him.
pick.
Him and Zoe were on the team together before Zoe went to Miami, and then LJ went to Charlotte. They both left the same year.
Yep, yep. So this is what Larry Johnson looked like, and I'm going to share this image here because it was one of my favorite episodes. If y'all watch Family Matters, then you know what this show was. He was featured on there, Grandmama, aka Larry Johnson, in a dress with some basketball shoes on, and this was one of my favorite episodes. But he did it early on TV, and I can't think of a time in the 90s that other people were doing this. I like there were a couple of other shows and comedians. It was a comedy thing in which guys wore dresses, but I'm trying to think about it now. You don't really see it
No,
mainstream like that.
no, you don't. You don't see it like that. No, it's that might have been the last time you saw something like that. But man, Grandmama stuck for a while. Man, everybody loved Grandmama.
David Cunningham said Flip Wilson was the standard for female impersonators. Do you know who Flip Wilson is?
Got no clue.
No clue. Flip Wilson. Let's see who Flip Wilson is before we go to the next topic. Flip Wilson. Flip Wilson is an American comedian, and yes, okay. I had to Google who Flip Wilson was. By name, I didn't recognize him, but by face, I absolutely do. He was around the same class of actors in the. I think he was popular in the 50s, like the 50s and the 60s. But around like the Red Fox, Richard Pryor era of comedians.
Okay, now yeah, I know who you're talking about now. And I'm looking at one of his images. He looks like Dave Chappelle too, a little.
Ooh, hey, what if Dave Chappelle is his dad? Or he is Dave Chappelle's dad. That's what I meant to say.
Hey, Dave Chappelle is one of my favorite comedians. Oh yeah. All right, now I know who Flip Wilson is. Yeah, I know who they're talking about.
All right, let's see. Ooh, we got a couple more stories, and then we're going to close out the show. Coach, this year's NBA draft came and went. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't recognize that it was even the NBA draft until my phone went off. And I was like, oh, kidding. I was like, oh, no kidding. The NBA draft is going on right now. I didn't see a lot of marketing behind it. And then as I was watching it and keeping up with the people that got drafted, there were a couple of people that didn't get drafted.
Mm-hmm.
That was a surprise to me. And then I was looking at the highlights of some of the players, and I'm like, this year's draft is kind of meh. I think that the Spurs got a guy that is going to possibly change the game, but there were other people that didn't get drafted because of that. Like there was two guys, one person who was like defensive player of the year
Mm-hmm.
just a year ago. did not get drafted because he's considered big and slow, and the game's moving a lot faster now. You've got people like Jokic that, even though he's one of the tallest dudes on the paint at any given point, he doesn't just play down low. Jokic will use his energy, take you outside for some range, and you're gonna have to defend that. And there was one guy that didn't get drafted because he was a big lumbering dude. Yet, he was sizey, still didn't get drafted.
I agree with that, and it sucks that the days of the big strong center are kind of gone, and the low post guys have to be more agile. And about the best example you can give right now is a guy who over at Joel Embiid over in Philadelphia. That's kind of the epitome of what a big man is supposed to be right now in the NBA. If you're looking for a low post player, but now you're talking about like this guy right here, Victor Wembanyama. I don't think anything has been seen like him, because the last person who was that tall coming into the NBA that had that much hype was Yao Ming. And remember the kind of presence that Yao Ming had. He was more of an inside player, but you're also adding him right here, this Wembanyama guy, that he can actually go out and play the guards with his wingspan, playing them defensively. He can take up the point guard and like just basically wrap his arms around him with an 8-foot freaking wingspan. He led the league in block shots, and this kid's 18 years old over in France. He's got the highest field goal percentage, and he can shoot from three. There is a lot to be reckoned with Victor Wembanyama. I just think that with the way that everything is in the NBA, it's going to take somebody who's going to be built like Shaq, that just is so dominant inside. As it could be this Wembanyama guy if he just decides to go inside, because he out talls everybody and just starts dominating for the league to shift back away from this athleticism of the big men. Hopefully this kid's the answer, but this kid's something that you can think that the possibilities are endless with what this kid can do onto the court. Nobody has been hyped since LeBron. That's how hyped this kid is supposed to be.
Yes, I bought into the chatter of how good this kid is, and after watching some of his highlights and things, I think he's got the ability and the talent to really change the way that some teams approach him. And look, even though the Spurs won the lottery, it's not like they don't have bad coaches. Like, they have a
They
staff.
have Pop, and Pop is still there. Pop's
Mhm.
still, and Pop is the link from David Robinson to Tim Duncan to now Wembanyama. And I mean, that's a learning tree that even this kid right underneath here, he might be the tallest tree in the NBA, but he wants to get underneath the tree of those two people, because both of them are the finest examples within the organization of how big men play in the NBA.
Yep.
Yep. And transform how big men play in the NBA. David Robinson's the last person to have a quadruple double in the NBA.
Who?
David Robinson.
He was the last person?
Last person to ever record a quadruple double in the NBA. That's obviously,
Wow.
that's points, rebounds, assists, and
What's got in
blocked shots. And
blocks?
blocked
Okay,
shots. Yep.
that that makes sense. That makes
Yep.
sense because I'm trying to think. So, besides stat, do you think anybody's gotten close to getting it with steals? Has it ever been done with steals? Has there ever been a quadruple double where it was points, rebounds, assists, and steals?
You
A
know what?
guard could
I'm gonna
guard
look that up, because I remember there was like somebody was close to it, but
a guard
what?
could do it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, with all of those right there, that's what I'm looking up right now. mm,
Hey, while he's looking that up, Keith,
let me look it
who
up
who's
right.
the Hatton jersey? Is it Joe Hatton? Hayden? However you say his name. I need to know these things. I need to know these things. Because if that's the case, then that's cool. Actually, I just looked up who Joe Hayden is. That's
All
dope.
right. All right, so I just looked it up right now. So it's been done 4 times in NBA history, and
Mm,
it's been done one time by a guard. All right, the first person to ever do it was Nate Thurman in 1974.
Okay.
So he went for 22 points, 14 boards, 13 assists, and 12 blocks. Alvin Robertson in 1986 for the San Antonio Spurs, 36 and 20, 11, 10 assists, 10 steals.
Okay.
They did that all throughout all of them. The third time that happened was the Dream, Hakeem Olajuwon, with 18 points, 16 boards, 10 assists, and 11 blocks.
Wow.
Last person to do that was, like I said, David Robinson. Did that against the Detroit Pistons in 1994. 34 points, so he had the most points out of everybody. 10 boards, 10 assists, 10 blocks.
Okay.
Now the closest that somebody has come since then, and this is where
Man.
I thought he did, but I wasn't sure if he did it or not, was Clyde the Glide Drexler.
The
And
steals.
no, he was with Houston at that time.
No, I
This is
mean, was it points, rebound, points, rebound?
Yeah, that was the closest one. That was the one that I was thinking of. That was closest with steals. He had 25 points, 10 boards, 10 steals, and 9 assists. He was an assist
Oh
short.
man. Oh, I wonder who missed a shot that would have gotten the assist for him. Oh,
Well, it was 96, so we can blame Barkley on that one because I think Barkley got traded to them that year.
hey, shout out to Chuck. We know that Chuck watches the sports bar on Sundays too, whenever he's not doing inside the NBA with Shaq and all of them.
Oh,
Hey,
they're terrible. They're
I would
terrible.
love to interview fellow Alabamian Charles Barkley. I think that it would be a really fun interview. I hate to see if I can make that happen. David Cunningham said, "I can't wait to see Victor versus the Joker. I can't wait.
Yeah,
Victor versus
it'll be an interesting matchup. You
yeah,
know, and let's be honest out here. I mean, this kid has been hyped up to be, the next great prospect that ever since LeBron. His entire story is unique, like everybody, like throughout, just like LeBron's is. And that expectation that we have of these guys have to be lights out on the first day or have a decent first game or, first couple of months in the NBA before we label them a bust or something like that or start thinking
yeah.
they're bad. You got to remember this kid's 19 years old. All
Mhm.
right. I mean, he's going to have a learning curve, especially with his body still forming in. I mean, who knows that this kid's not, still growing.
True, true that.
Yeah. Nope.
True that.
And we got
My brother
CQ
Word
on.
said,
Yeah.
testing this thing out. What's up? Hey man,
He's watching us on Kick.
he's watching us over on Kick. Make sure you hit that follow button as well. I followed you. Now you follow me, son. Word is bond. Know what I mean? Hey, coach, how is my New York? Do I need to work on it some more?
That was about a 3.
That's about a 3. All right, I'll work on that.
That sounded like somebody from the South trying to what's it called? Trying to freaking have that trying to impersonate a New Yorker.
Word is bond. Nah, I mean, all right, I'll work on that. We got one funny thing to share, and then we're gonna get into our last 2 stories. John Daly said something that I agree with, and I'm just gonna post this up on the screen because I think it is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
He said you can't pull fat, you can pull muscle, but you can't pull fat. That's why I'm never into it.
Yep.
I like it. All right. I hope y'all got a good laugh out of that because it certainly made me laugh. But before we go on to our next story, what do you think about this 2023 draft class overall?
All right, I think obviously Wembayama is the big question mark. I want to see him develop, and maybe if this is the case, this is going to be known just by him. And I have a feeling it is just going to be known by him because I don't see anybody on these teams, including Brandon Miller, who was the Player of the Year last year, making such a big difference within the NBA. Wembayama is the superstar or bust on it. The rest of them are going to be good role players that you're going to have on your team. They're going to be starters, but they're not going to be the all-star level or anything close to what Wembayama is going to be bringing. So That's what I have. You got your starters. You're going to have a couple people who may make an all-star game or two. I'll go with that instead of not making an all-star game. You might have them make one or two all-star games out of this. You're not going to have any Hall of Famers outside of Wetbayama.
Ooh, okay, man. There were some interesting stories to me. Scoot Henderson's grill was definitely one of them. But this guy was a guy that came out of the G League and he was number 3 overall.
Yeah.
He got drafted by the Portland Trailblazers. So shout out to him. His real name is Sterling Freeman, but everybody calls him Scoot. I think he's a marketable guy, and I'm real curious to see what he does over there in
Hey,
Portland.
King, you were, when we were talking about this draft, you had mentioned that like the 2013 draft was one of the terrible ones.
Terrible, yes.
And yeah, and now, so real fast, I'm going to say this: you were right up to the number because the number 15 pick of that year was Giannis.
Yep.
By Milwaukee. So
Mm-hmm.
these are the 14 that went ahead of Giannis in 2013.
Name them:
Anthony Bennett, Victor Oladipo,
mm-hmm.
Otto Porter Jr.,
Yep.
Cody Zeller, Alex Lynn,
keep going.
Norins Knowles, Ben McLemore, Contavious Caldwell Pope,
KCP, who just won a championship.
Yes, he did. Trey Burke, CJ McCollum, Michael Carter Williams, Steve Adams, Kelly
Olynyk, yep.
and Shabazz Muhammad.
Those
were the
people
14 that went in front of him.
Before Giannis.
Before Giannis. Yeah.
Before Giannis.
Now, later on in that draft, Rudy Gobert was drafted, and there was a whole bunch of other people that just basically never panned out after that. But yeah, you're looking at that one now, and it just made me think about it. We were also debating too the best draft of all time, and I do want to relive this one because this is how good that draft was in the 03 draft. I'm gonna list off the highlights because obviously this number 2 pick is the one that everybody forgets and was like, holy shit, how the hell did that happen? Number 1, LeBron James to the Cavaliers. Number 2, Darko Milicic to the Detroit Pistons. Right after they won the championship too, I think.
Yep, and 3, 4, and 5 power hitters. Name them.
Carmelo Anthony to the Denver Nuggets,
who just retired.
Just retired, and his jersey should not be retired by the Knicks. Chris Bosh to the Toronto Raptors, number 4. Number 5.
Whose career got cut short because of clot and heart-related injuries.
Yes.
But otherwise, he would be in the Hall of Fame.
Number 5 to the Miami Heat, Dwayne Wade. Now, here's another good one that ends up coming up out of there is that, the next pick down was Chris Kaman, who was an all-star. Okay? Let's not get him out of there. And then another one that ended up making the all-star team a couple times was David West and Josh Howard out of the Dallas Mavericks. Okay, but you're still going over now into the second round. Maurice Williams and Kyle Cover, both of them came out of that one. Okay, and then undrafted players for that year. You ended up having a couple guys who Noel Phoenix, I know, has played for a while out of there, and I'm trying to remember this other kid that ended up playing. Jose Calderon was on that team as well, was out of that draft as well. So 2003, you had every single one of those daggone heavy hitters on there, man. You've got 4, let's say, okay, 2 definite, 3 definite, because they'll end up giving Carmelo a Hall of Fame a nod. I'll ask you, Chris Bosh, Hall of Fame?
He deserves it. I don't think he's going to get in.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think, I mean, he is a 2-time NBA champion. multiple time All-Star.
He had
You
high
know,
usage, meaning that the ball would
yeah,
he touched the ball
you know,
at some
he
point.
played he played with great players, obviously, but he was great up in Toronto. And
And a
then
good two-way player on offense and defense.
yeah, and then he had issues, coming in with that, and I'll say this too, Alonzo Mourning didn't play for a little while because of health issues and everything.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
But 11-time All-Star and 2-time NBA champion. And career points per game of 19.2 per game, rebounds 8.5. You know, I would say yes. I would say yes. Here's where it comes with me on this. He won 2 championships. Obviously, that was with the super team. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying anything. This is not about bad like guys like Karl Malone or these other people that are high scorers, but there are people who have not won a single championship that are in the Hall of Fame. And yeah, you take a look at a guy like Robert Parrish. Robert Parrish has got 5 NBA rings. Not as great of a player as what's it called as Chris Bosh was, but the Chiefs in the Hall of Fame. Okay, him, Kevin McHale, Larry Bird made one of the best backcourts the NBA has ever had, or one of the best front courts that the NBA has ever had. So I don't hold that against Dwayne Wade. I think Dwayne Wade gets in, and he should get in before Carmelo. Think about this: how many championships has that motherfucker won? Not one.
0.
0. Okay, LeBron's won 4. Wade's won 3. You know
Hey,
what's up?
Carmelo Anthony is this generation's Charles Barkley.
Oh,
He is this generation's Charles Barkley, well respected for what he did while playing the game, but never won a championship.
see, I was gonna say Iverson.
Iverson, wait, Iverson didn't win?
No,
Hold up.
Iverson never won. See, we got a gap generational right there. Barkley never did, and then Iverson never did. We obviously know Karl Malone never did.
Hmm.
Now GP got a cheap one at the end with Miami, but I don't blame him whatsoever. He got one. Um, I'm trying to think of the other great players, but I do think that the last, real great player that never won a championship that got into the Hall of Fame has been AI. And yeah, there is that generation one. You can say the same about Yao Ming and T Mac too.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True that.
Yep.
We got 2 more stories, Coach, and we're gonna close out the show.
Sounds good,
So,
brother.
which order do I want to do this in? I'm gonna do this one regarding Melvin Gordon and what he said about the running back position, and then finish out with a tragic story. We're gonna end on a somber note today, but
Oh,
do you think that the running back position has been really devalued?
yes. Yes.
Melvin Gordon came out with something, and let me see. I saw this on Fox Sports, right? And he came out and said that the running back position is the worst to play in the NFL right now, and that it literally sucks. And I'm going to share my screen here. But before I do, David Cunningham said, "You have a guy like Robert Orr with 7 championships that's not in the Hall of Fame." The disrespect. The disrespect.
You at that same time too, you know what, and I'm going to say this, he probably will get in now as a coach, but you would have to say the same thing about Steve Kerr too, because Kerr, I believe, retired with like 6 championships. He was part of
The Jordan era.
he was part, obviously, with the Jordan era, but he was part of what was the Spurs. He was on the
No,
Spurs for at least 2 of them. He was on the year after, so he ended up winning like 4 in a row, and then he was on that 03 team.
oh wow! And then obviously,
And damn, if you really want to go there too, I think Ron Harper is a 5-time ring winner as well. And you might even look at John Sally. I think John Sally's got 4 or 5.
Yep. Hey,
Mhm.
I wouldn't mind being that guy that's got the ring,
Yeah,
uh displayed and showcased, but people don't know my name. Hey, still call me a champ. I'm still a champion.
yeah.
I am still a champ. Might not be Hall of Fame, but I'm still a champion, baby. So Melvin Gordon came out and said that the running back's literally one of the worst positions that is in the NFL right now. It's increasingly lost value. And that teams are just simply going for younger, less expensive guys instead of spending money on well-known free agents. So, hey, look, it's sounding like your value as a running back is at its best them first 4 or 5 years, and that maybe, just maybe, because take a look at how Saquon is. At one point, people were talking about Saquon being literally that generational back that is Barry Sanders wrapped into Adrian Peterson wrapped into the bus, who could also catch, and was a big guy. And yet he's coming up now, and it doesn't look like he's going to get the money that the market or people thinks that he deserves. And I think that Melvin Gordon's right about this. He still hasn't caught on to a new team yet. He'll be coming into his 8th year, yet a team was taking a look at how running backs are and going, you know what? I'd rather get fresh legs and pay them less.
And
And that's the business that kind of comes along with that.
Zeke's still out there too, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't think Zeke signed with anybody. At least I
Yeah,
haven't seen
Ezekiel
anything that says
Elliott's still
otherwise.
out there. So I mean, yeah, in Barkley with this whole situation with the franchise tag and them trying to work on the extension, I know it feels like it's disrespectful to it, but I've been listening. I listen a lot to the New York sports stations, and there is not only a financial reason, but there's also the player reason for why they went ahead and got Daniel Jones signed before and tagged Saquon. They are not valuing the way that Saquon has been performing. What they're going off of also is, financial burdens on there. They would have more cap maneuverability to until they discuss a long term deal with Saquon towards training camp. So
Mm.
they're still trying to fill out the roster and have the most flexibility. And that became that move out there. And Saquon's being used as a chip so that the team can get better before they address his concern. So it is feeling disrespectful in the way, but there is a business reason for it, and that's been dissected several times, and it's understandable for the team to think of it that way, so that they can better the entire team and then take care of Saquon when they have to take care of Saquon.
Yep. And now look, there's no doubt that a player like Melvin Gordon, when you hear the name, you're like, okay, this guy's got talent. He's proven himself in the past. I don't think this past year, I can't recall the exact circle. Oh, he fumbled a lot. That's what it was. He fumbled a lot. So Denver said, you got to go, bro. He ended up signing on to the Chiefs practice squad, but never made it into the active roster. And I mean, look, he's quoted as saying, I'm just staying ready. It's hard though. It's hard training knowing that you're not going to be on the team. It's tough mentally. But I talked to some players that went through it, and I'm just taking their advice, being a sponge, and that kind of helps you get through it. Oh, hey, look, there's multiple running backs still looking for a team as July approaches, including Ezekiel Elliott and Dalvin Cook. I think that all three of those players are going to be on a roster when this NFL season commences in
Oh
some
yeah,
form or fashion.
yeah, they will, but it's going to be completely below the market value that they're looking for still, and
Yep.
it's going to be one of the last signings that's going to end up happening before training camp. It wouldn't bother me though, but you know what? I will say for my Jets, Brees Hall had a great year up until he got injured last year. And this whole vicious cycle of running backs. There was a kid. that was drafted out of North Carolina that ended up was one of the running backs a couple years ago, maybe the year before Brees Hall. And like now he's in his third year in the league and he's basically forgotten as one of the running backs. Running backs has now become so expendable in the NFL that they want it more for pass catching than intended purpose. And if its intended purpose is being used as primarily as running, that means that there's going to be more pressure on the quarterback. And with the way that our edge rushers are, there's more of the chance that they will be sacked and do not be able to complete a pass, if that's the case.
Yep. All valid points, man. All
Yep.
valid points. Now, our last story for the day is a somber one. I should have did this order a little bit different, but you know what? It is what it is. We produce a show over here. Oh, before I forget, let's talk about the fact that the Colorado Rockies got straight demolished yesterday.
Ooh,
I saw that score and said that can't be right. It can't be right. Yet it was. Coach, I don't follow baseball, so please talk about what the hell happened. Oh,
man.
and before you do, the Houston Astros right now are tied. It's the end of the 10th, 5-5 with the LA Dodgers. We are in
You know,
extra innings in that game.
my father, God rest his soul, used to say something like this when he saw a team, get blown out in that manner. Man, I haven't seen something beaten so bad since since Tina left. Like, oh, oh. Now, God rest all their souls. That being said, that was an embarrassment last night. Games get that way in Major League Baseball. And it's good that you have one that it's that ridiculous. I remember the Yankees getting beat like 22-0 a couple of years ago, and I was freaking embarrassed. But then that team ended up rebounding back and using that as kind of an example. Man, if I were the Colorado Rockies, I would use that game as a way to get back and be like, okay, let's get rid of all the ridiculousness. Everything's out of the daggone bag. Let's get out of it. And it was against the Angels, who usually, if they do give it up right there, have such a terrible pitching staff that they would have ended up losing 26-25. But that being said, man, the Angels pitching staff did something, and it wasn't Otani that did it. So that's notable in and of itself that they only gave up one run.
Hey man, yeah, I saw that it was highlighted by a 13-run inning. It was just like Oprah, you get a base, you get a hit, you get a hit, you get a hit. I said,
And
golly.
if you looked at it, and none of them were home runs by Trout or Otani.
Mhm.
There weren't any home runs by them. They got their hits and they got their RBIs. I think like maybe like Otani and Trout weren't like the big run producers during the game. So it was everything that the Angels wanted in a matter of one game. Let's hope it continues for the rest of the season, so that they're not losing 9-7 when Shohei Otani goes up for 25 strikeouts in a game and hits a home run, and Trout goes 3 for 3 and they lose like 9-7.
Hey, whatever they did, they inspired some college stuff as well because the number 2 Florida Gators today put up 24 over the number 5 LSU
Oof.
Tigers in the Men's College World Series Championship Series. It was game 2 and the series is now tied 1-1. So you
Yep.
lose that first game and then you come back up and you put 24 up. You had a
Yeah.
point to prove.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was your exclamation point. Now the battle comes up there. It's a winner take all game 3 for the College World Series, and this has been a very competitive College World Series. I've seen interest because there's been a lot of North Carolina teams around here, and they've been talking about it with Wake just getting eliminated by LSU, and phenomenal competition this entire College World Series has been.
Grooming and Review said, "How do you feel about New York's team this year?" I think you asked that, but Coach, have you changed your mind about your Jets this year?
I mean, as long as he's not talking about hardball. I mean, we're talking about the football. Yeah, With the Jets, I'm extremely optimistic, obviously, with Aaron Rodgers, but on top of that, it's the pieces that would now be surrounded with Aaron Rodgers, the Brees Hall, the Wilson kid. And, seeing them with Aaron Rodgers, with a competent quarterback, makes me actually happier that, their talents can be shine a heck of a lot more. Um, with the defense, the defense is the one thing I'm real, excited to see. I want to see Sauce Gardner become the next Dion. I think he's got that great of a range. It feels great to have that lockdown cornerback like Revis Island had, for several years, where your defense is, able to go against the pass and negate it. So I hope the rest of the secondary, steps up in that sense as well. And I'm okay with the D line and the linebackers. The safety needs a little bit more concern, but that's more with the DBs trying to get all up in the open and get these passing lanes shut down, because you're going to have like 2/3 of the field is going to be shut down with Sauce. You ain't got to worry
Oh,
about anything else. Sauce is going to take care of it all. 2/3 of that daggone field is completely cut off, man. It's been soused.
hey,
That boy is good.
I love watching him play. Like, he
Oh
makes me
yeah.
excited to watch the cornerback position,
Oh yeah.
and I'm curious to see
I
what
want
he's
to
going to
see.
do this year.
I want to see the ones who, and I say this in wholeheartedly. With like last year when I started seeing more of him on the highlights, I was trying to think of who would be stupid enough to throw over there, and I'm really looking at it. And he had some of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, afraid to throw at him.
Hmm.
That's great. That is great.
Yep. He makes me excited to watch the Jets.
Yeah.
David Cunningham asked you, Coach, is this Aaron Boone's last year as skipper?
Now you really want me to get off of it.
I don't know what these terms mean. What's a skipper? Is that a baseball term?
That's the manager. And if
Okay.
Aaron Boone was the manager instead of a fucking walking puppet, then I would consider him the manager. But he's not. He's an absolute walking puppet that doesn't know his head from his ass, gets his orders from a freaking bunch of nerds in this freaking analytics department, screws around with the order, can't get a good conditioning coach, can't get this team over a damn hump to win a freaking World Series, cries and complains about this, and still has this chipper attitude. If freaking George Steinbrenner, God rest his soul, was still alive, Aaron Boone would be fired. But unfortunately, his pussy son, Hal, freaking inherited the club and doesn't care if the Yankees win a championship or not, despite what his fans say. And he says he doesn't understand why the fans are upset. It's because you're so arrogant and aloof as an owner that you don't give a crap about what Yankee fans are. That's why you hire a freaking walking stick up the ass freaking quote unquote manager in Aaron Boone, and you spend money on players who don't even deserve to be in the Yankee uniform, let alone in Major League Baseball. A guy like Donaldson or Aaron Hicks, you keep screwing around more money on this, and yet you give $50 million contracts to players that actually, are barely on the team right now because their conditioning sucks, or that they're carrying the whole team, and the weight of it with your stupidity on top of it is burying the shoulders of Aaron Judge. Motherfuckers.
I absolutely love when Coach goes on a rant. I don't know whose rants are more epic, Radars or Coaches. If y'all watch the different shows, y'all let me know who takes
Listen,
tops on the rants. Is it Coach
I,
or
I'm
is it Radar?
this is going to be I got to get this out. I have been calling that Aaron Boone should have been fired since 2019. Okay. He kept freaking Chapman in the game. He hasn't trusted his managerial style of way he is, it might be delivering regular season results, but when it comes to the postseason, he walks around like he's got his freaking balls tucked in, like he's daggone Silence of the Lambs. If you give him his balls back, maybe he might actually make a managerial change instead of having y'all tinker it and screw up everybody because your stupid analytics tells you this way. You're afraid to fire Brian Cashman as well because he was the last daggone person your father wanted to keep around. You're keeping him around like he's the daggone, soul sucking freaking brother-in-law that nobody ever wanted in part of the family, and he's mooching off of you right now, screwing up every daggone deal. All right, this is worse than a daggone episode of what's that show on HBO? The one the not Billions. What the hell was the one
Ballers.
that just ended? No, not Ballers. No.
I like ballers.
Succession.
Okay.
Succession. This is worse than Succession. You got a bunch of incompetents running the freaking greatest sports franchise in the United States, and you don't know how to manage a damn day to day. You've got the keys to absolutely everything, and you're running it like it's a freaking project in the middle of the Bronx. Yes,
Yes.
bastards.
Man, I like it. Hey, I'm gonna cut that part and put it on the sports bar and call it Coach's Rants.
Oh.
My goal is to get you to do a rant. That's why I bring up Julius Randle every episode. I just
Oh,
did.
you don't have to anymore. You
But
bring up
Steve,
Aaron Boone. You bring up Aaron Boone, and I swear to God, I'll have a new thing every week for why I think he should get. Why I think he should chop off his freaking ding dong and decide to go play. Go on to the women's softball tour, become a manager on there.
yes, I love it. David
Fucker.
Cunningham says Houston is up 6-5 at top of the 11th. All right.
Jose Altuve is another midget. He should be in micro wrestling. Cheating bastard.
Oh man, hey, I'm glad we could bring up the thing because I'm sort of about to bring it down, but I'm not gonna bring it down too bad. All right, we're gonna quickly touch this one and then we're gonna call it a night here.
All right.
A professional basketball player died from an apparent heart attack at age 28. Cabrera Adames, and I hope I pronounced his name right, a Dominican basketball player who previously claimed to have myocarditis, suffered from a heart attack last week, and he has since passed away. Apparently, he died while suffering a heart attack during a stress test. Now, this article here speaks to me because I've shared very publicly. I have heart disease. I found out when I was active duty. I got medically retired because of it. That I have what's called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which means that my heart is thick. And while I don't have a dangerous form of it, it's still something that I have to monitor. Right, I have to take blood thinners because my heart is thick. It works harder to pump blood, so I have to take blood thinners for the rest of my life. Okay, thankfully it's not worse, and I'm appreciative of that. And the military did right by me, and the VA's giving me some phenomenal care because of it. Now, this guy apparently wrote previously that, and I'm just going to quote him, I got a damn myocarditis from taking a effing vaccine. I got 2 doses of Pfizer, and I knew it. Many people warned me. But guess what? It was compulsory or I couldn't work. I am an international professional athlete and I'm playing in Spain. I have no health problems, nothing, not hereditary, no asthma, nothing. I suddenly collapsed to the ground in the middle of a match and almost died. I'm still recovering and I've had 11 different cardio tests done. And guess what? They found nothing. So while it is unclear of exactly what caused his cardiac attack to die during a stress test, so he's already in the hospital. He's in the hospital. So a stress test, there's different forms of stress tests. I've had just a regular old stress test where they hook you up, put you on a treadmill, and then have you do stuff so that they can measure your heart, see how everything's going. And I've also had what's called a nuclear stress test where they give you this solution that they pump through your veins so that they could get the imaging to see exactly how well your heart's pumping blood and things like that. So I'm well familiar with a stress test. I got my diagnose of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, and as far as I know, I'm the only one in my family who's had heart disease. Okay, so I understand what Cabrera was saying and how he may say, "Hey, look, I took this vaccine because I had no choice." Now, when you're in the military and you're worldwide deployable, you're given a shot of everything. And I could go down the rabbit hole and say that maybe something that I was given, right, caused my heart to change up a bit. I'm not a conspiracy theorist coach. Who knows? But I can understand this guy going down that rabbit hole because I did the same thing. I'm like, man, how did I get this? Was it some of the various places that I deployed to? Could it have been some of these vaccines that they give you while you're serving so that you're worldwide deployable? I did the same thing. So I understand them. But this guy, 28 years old, has since passed away. May he rest in peace. Do you think that there's some validity to what I just said, to getting a vaccine, and now you all of a sudden have heart issues? Coach, what say you?
I could say that there is validity to it, and there could be hard disease. There is risk compared to it. Yes, everybody. We don't know all of the side effects and the way things are ever since taking any of these vaccinations or whatever. I get that. It's still an evolving science, and we can talk about the pro-vax and the anti-vax and the COVID shit and whatever the heck was happening. I will say this: I had an old NCO of mine and a family friend all pass away from COVID. Both of them were unvaccinated. I got the same strain. My son, my daughter, and my wife and my mother in law all got it within the same time period that our two friends died. The only thing that saved us was the fact that every single one of us were vaccinated. So I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Yeah.
I've got
But I do think there's validity to it. But I also think, too, it's not uncommon to hear about a NBA player or a professional basketball player to have issues with their heart and die suddenly.
yeah.
Um, I remember back, I think it was '94. I can't remember what year it was. Um, Reggie Lewis at the Boston Celtics. He passed away. He had a heart attack during practice at Brandeis University, I believe it was the place. I can't remember. I don't remember the college. Before that, Len Bias, not Len Bias, Hank Gathers. Hank Gathers from Loyola Marymount had a heart attack during the game. Len Bias had a heart attack, but that was more drug related. There was another guy. I'm trying to look it up. I'm looking it up right now on on the internet. Give me a moment. I am sorry. I believe. Gosh, what was his name? It was Collier, I think, was his name. I'm trying to find him. I think it was like 2011 or something like that. Robert Tractor Trailer had a heart attack as well during a game when he was playing in the what's it called when he was playing in overseas. So that's happened as well. A lot of people have died of heart attacks suddenly while playing in the game or on the court or doing other things that are out there. So it's unfortunate that things like that do happen, but there has been a history of stuff like that happening around
Yep, and I mean, look, the body's an interesting thing, man. Like I said, for me, it bothered me for a while because, as far as I knew, nobody else had had any type of heart disease. But this was prior to the most recent COVID-19 vaccine. Like I'll tell y'all, I've talked
there.
about it publicly. I've gotten vaccinated. I was the guy that said, "Look, the military's done already stabbed me with a whole bunch of other shit anyway. So taking this one." I was neither for it nor against it. Like I wasn't trying to be altruistic, like, hey, everybody should get vaccinated. That wasn't me. I'm like, look, I'm doing it, whatever. I
Yeah.
know that there are people that I know that vehemently have said that they're not doing it. I also know of one person who lost their position in the guard because when everything got shut down, the regs were quite up to date on this, and they said that he had to get it, otherwise he couldn't drill. And he said, "I ain't getting it." He is no longer in.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
can it affect you? I don't know. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a health dude. I don't have a PhD like the one guy that was like, "Hey, what's my education?" I got a master's in business. All right.
Yeah.
Not a health degree. But like I said, because that article and the news affected me, I wanted to share that. It wasn't as somber as I thought it was, actually. It wasn't as somber as I thought it was. But that
Yeah.
is our last article for today. So look, this has been another episode, another live stream of the Sports Bar with Coach and King. If you haven't already hit that like button, mash that like button. All right. Help us out. David Cunningham said that anthrax shot was harsh. Yes, it was. I remember that. Hey, coach, I don't know if you remember how that anthrax shot felt. I do to this day.
Oh, I
That shit
remember that one.
sucked.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was not. That was not fun at all, man. That
That
was. Oh, that was terrible.
terrible.
Man, it felt like peanut.
Terrible. Oh,
Felt like a jar of Jiffy getting shoved straight through your butt cheeks.
yes, and you had to really massage that one after you got it, because
Oh
oh
yeah.
man, it was so bad. But look, I appreciate everybody that has rocked with us, that have been in the comments throughout the entire time. Y'all don't know how fun y'all make this. Thank you, Coach. I appreciate you coming on and co-hosting this thing with me. Let's try and make next month, July, a great month for the sports bar here as
Oh
well on
yeah.
WTF Nation Radio. I love the fact that the analytics are looking real good, and I hope that we can continue to make this thing grow. We're going to
Oh,
have
absolutely.
interviews. We're going to have interviews as well. CQ keeps asking me when, and I keep saying soon. But if you know me in real life, anytime I tell you soon, I'm just kicking the can down the road because I don't set a date when I say soon. But
Yep.
we are going to set this up to where we're going to have interviews and stuff like that. So to the viewers, to the people that are eventually going to listen to this on the podcast, because we do put this out on audio format as well. Thank you. All right. And be sure to tune in tomorrow when the boss, Iceman himself, kicks us off on the Monday edition. Y'all have a good night, and thanks for tuning in. Peace.
Peace.